Welcome back. This is Rich again, back for an exclusive YouTube video blog. Tonight's YouTube video blog is about the top 10 classic TV shows of all time that lasted a little too long, meaning that they were on the air maybe a year or two um, too long. Like they were kind of past their prime, where they were eventually canceled, which they should have been axed earlier. And some of these shows I'm going to include on this list is going to be very interesting. But first, these important messages. Don't forget to listen to Crystal's Time Machine each and every Friday and Saturday night from 9 to 11 p.m. on WCAP 980, where everybody gets it. If you can't catch the show live, listen to the podcast exclusively on archive.org. Goes back to October 2015. Follow Crystal on Twitter at Crystal Amy John and Machine Crystal. Follow her on Instagram at Crystal Johnson. Follow her on Facebook, the official Crystal's Time Machine Facebook page, the official Crystal's Time Machine group page, and Game Show fan page. And also follow her on YouTube, Crystal Johnson, one exclusive video a week. Follow me on Twitter at Chewy7. Follow me on Instagram at RichSellSall. And say hello to Broadway Pizza, the official sponsor of Crystal's Time Machine. If you say the promo code Crystal's Time Machine, $2 off your meal, which that is very, very good. And now on to the feature presentation. This video blog will be about the top 10 classic TV shows that lasted too long, meaning that they lasted 1 to 2 seasons too long, in my humble opinion, which, made the show, kind of sad at the end because of the repetitiveness of the show and also running out of good storylines. Number 10 on this list is Family Matters, which lasted from 1989 through 1997 on ABC, and from 1997 through 1998 on CBS. Actually, they left ABC to go to CBS in 1997 to have a 9th and 10th year, but they didn't get to year 10. They were canceled midway through season 9, with the remaining episodes burned off over the summer of 1998. The real main star of Family Matters was Jalal White, who played Steve Urkel. Did I do that? And he would always have a crush on Laura Winslow, and also he would also get into arguments with Laura's Winslow's father, Carl Winslow. And the show was pretty good for maybe 6-7 years, but by season 8, like, Urkel was an adult, and kind of that him being like playing like Urkel as an adult kind of wasn't pretty good. And when they went to CBS, the show just tanked. And Harriet Winslow, they had to change Harriet's during season 9. Jo Marie Payton left the show, and she was replaced by Judy Ann Elder, who was famous for being on Martin. If they ended at season 8 on ABC, that would have been fine by me. Number 9 on this list is Full House, which lasted from 1987 through 1995, starring Bob Saget and John Stamos and David Coulier and Candace Cameron and Jodie Sweetin and Michelle and Mary and Mary Kate and Ashley Olsen, who played Michelle. And the first several years of Full House, maybe the first 5 or 6, were pretty good with the storylines and having like Jesse and Rebecca marry or Becky in season 5 was pretty good. They had twins, and the show, in my opinion, lasted 2 years too long. They should have ended it at season 6, in my opinion, because season 7 and 8, the storylines just got too not very good. Also, number 8 on this list of the top 10 classic television shows that lasted too long, I'm adding the first of 3 game shows on here. The 70s version of Match Game on CBS. Match Game was a big hit on CBS for many years, hosted by Gene Rabin and having celebrities like Charles Nelson Riley, Brett Summers, and Richard Dawson as the regulars, and other semi-regulars like Bill Daly and McLean Stevens and Fannie Flagg, Elaine Joyce, Patty Deutsch, and so many others. In fact, it was the number 1 TV show in daytime for several years, and they had a good time slot at 4 o'clock in the afternoon or 9:30 at some CBS affiliates, or even 1 p.m. And they had one time 15 million viewers watching Match Game every single week, which that's pretty amazing. But CBS tinkered with Match Game, moving it to the mornings and in 1977, and that eroded the audience. And also in mid-1978, they added a star reel as the bonus round because everybody was matching Richard Dawson. And when, he left the show soon afterwards and it was never the same, I think CBS should have canceled it when Richard Dawson left. But they went a year without him. Also, number 7 on this list of the top 10 classic TV shows that lasted too long. I'm going to be sharing this with a tie with this, the Maury Povich Show and the Jerry Springer Show. So I'm going to include 2 of them. And the Maury Povich Show lasted from 1991 to 2022, and the Jerry Springer Show lasted from 1991 through 2018. And Jerry Springer's show was Crash Television, and Maury Povich's show was Lie Detector Test and Paternity Test. And these shows kind of really wore out its welcome by the late 2000s, but they were making so much money, they continued to produce new episodes and sometimes had reruns of double or triple of them. They should have ended, in my opinion, maybe around 2010 because people just got tired of, all of the Crash TV stuff and also the Lie Detector Test and the Paternity Test. You are the father. That was a lie. But you could still see Maury and Jerry Springer on many streaming sites, including Nosy, and Pluto TV, and Tubi. Number 6 on this list of the top 10 classic TV shows that lasted too long was Happy Days, which lasted from 1974 through 1984 on ABC, starring Ron Howard, Anson Williams, Donnie Most, Marion Ross, Erin Moran, Tom Bosley, and Henry Winkler as the Fonz. And they also had a character called Chuck Cunningham, the older brother of Richie Cunningham, that lasted about 2 years, but he was eventually phased out, and he was not mentioned in Happy Days after from the 3rd season on. He was erased from history, and Fonzie was actually Richie's kind of the de facto older brother to him. Richie and Ralph Malph and Popsy Weber and Fonzie were pretty awesome, like for several years. In 1980, Ron Howard and Donnie Most left the series, and it focused on Fonzie. It lasted 4 more years, but it was kind of never the same after that, in my opinion. It should have maybe given it maybe 1 or 2 more years, and then they canceled it, and they should have really cancel it when they had the spin-off series of Joni Loves Chachi, but that failed, and they came back to Happy Days, but I think Happy Days should have ended in 1982. Also, number 5 on this list of the top 10 classic TV shows that lasted too long. This one is the only one that's still on the air, The Simpsons, which lasted from 1987 as a short on Tracy Ullman show on Fox. It became a standalone series in 1989. It's been on ever since, and it's going on 35 years. And the show is, probably ran its course too many times, but it's getting decent ratings on Fox. But many people who used to watch The Simpsons don't watch it anymore because it's almost basically redundant. But it's going to still be on Fox as long as Matt, the creator, Matt Grogan, decides to keep it on. Or maybe when the voice actors and actresses who play the characters, retire or pass on, because I couldn't see like Homer Simpson or Marge Simpson or Bart Simpson or Lisa Simpson being voiced by anybody else besides the voice actors and actresses. Also, number 4 on this list is the original Family Feud, hosted by Richard Dawson, that lasted from 1976 through 1985 on ABC. Family Feud was a big hit, and many people loved it when Richard Dawson would kiss the female contestants, and he had a lot of humor on that show. It was one of the big hits in daytime. In fact, they had a celebrity version for ABC and a syndicated version, which eventually became 5 days a week. Around 1984, they kind of cut out most of Richard Dawson's humor, which was a vital part of his show, because they kind of had the show to win the game 400 points. Originally it was 200 points and 300 points, and then 400 points, and that's what basically, killed the show, in my opinion. They should have maybe ended it in the summer of 1984, but it was still doing pretty good rating for ABC. We could also have an honorable mention, Family Feud with Ray Combs on CBS, which in like the summer of 1992 added the Family Feud Challenge, an hour-long Family Feud, which that was kind of too much because they also took out most of the humor as well because Ray Combs was a very funny host. Number 3 on this list of the top 10 classic TV shows that lasted too long, the original Hollywood Squares on NBC, hosted by Peter Marshall, which lasted from 1966 through 1980. And Hollywood Squares were they had a great cast of regulars, including Maury Amsterdam, Rosemary, Wally Cox, George Gobel, Charlie Weaver, Rosemary, Abby Dalton, and the center square, Paul Lynde, who became the center square on a regular basis in 1970. And the show was doing pretty good, but when Paul Lynde left the center square in 1979, the show kind of really went downhill, and it got canceled. A year later in 1980, should have been, canceled when Paul Lynde left because he was just basically the star of the show besides Peter Marshall. Number 2 on this list of the top 10 classic TV shows that lasted too long was Mor Mindy, which lasted on ABC from 1978 through 1982, starring Robin Williams and Pam Dolber, which is alien. Mork from Ork came to Boulder, Colorado to live with Mindy McConnell. In the first season, it was a big hit for ABC with supporting cast Conrad Jane and Elizabeth Kerr as Fred McConnell, Mindy's father, and Corinne, Mindy's grandmother. They were, replaced in season 2 by Jay Thomas and Gina Hackett, which, they didn't really have too much good chemistry with Robin, with Robin and Pam on the show, and in my humble opinion, and the ratings it continued to slide for the third season. It should have really been canceled after season 3, but season 4 they had Mork and Mindy marry, and they added a son, Murph, who was played by Robin Williams' idol Jonathan Winters, which it wasn't good. And the show got canceled soon afterwards. And number 1 on this list of the top 10 shows that classic TV shows that lasted too long, Chico and the Man, which lasted on NBC from 1974 through 1978, starring Jack Albertson as Ed Brown, grumpy owner of a garage, and Chico Rodriguez, who was a mechanic, and like Ed Brown, Freddie Prinze played Chico Rodriguez, and it was a big hit for the first 2.5 years on NBC, but Freddie Prinze's sudden death in the middle of season 3 in January of 1977, basically the show should have been canceled right then and there, even though it was one of the most popular NBC shows. Just Chico was basically the star along with Ed, and they went on with season 4 with like Raul, a 12-year-old boy, replacing Chico Rodriguez as kind of like the this whole main character. And, that was not good in my opinion. And they originally, wrote Chico off that he went to Mexico, but eventually they said in one episode in season 4 that Chico died. They didn't get into great details with it. And the show just basically, halfway through season 4, NBC put it on a hiatus and burned off the remaining episodes in summer of 1978. There was one Chico and the Man that did not air on NBC in season 4. And that's it on that. I'll be back on YouTube sometime in the near future. Thanks for all your support. Talk to you again soon.